Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's lesson. So, in today's lesson, we are going to continue with the introduction to video editing, and this is going to be part two of that lesson. And in today's lesson, we are going to go through some few video editing techniques. And the software I'm going to be working with is CapCut, but this time I'm going to be using the desktop version. So the first thing you need to do is to install the software. So first I'm going to open my browser and then I'm going to search. First I'll go to google.com and then I'll search for CapCut desktop. Okay, so I'm going to tap or click on the first link and it will take me to the CapCut website, and then I'm going to click this button here to download the software. And then after I'm done downloading the software, I'm going to go to my file explorer and then look for the software setup and then install it from there. So to go to your file explorer, you can go to your start menu and then click the file explorer button, or you can just, let's close it. You can just use the Windows key and then the key E on your keyboard. So Windows key and E, Windows plus E. Yeah. And this for Windows. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my downloads folder, double click on programs, and then double click on CapCut. If you're using a MacBook, you can just go to your app store, search for CapCut, and then install it from there. So right now I'm installing the CapCut desktop software. And then once I'm done installing the software, I'm going to open it up and then we'll continue from there. But before that, let's take a look at the video we'll be editing today. So I'm going to my desktop, open my folder, and then we have our footage here. So I'm going to open this footage and then we'll see how it looks, how the raw format looks.
I don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error.
Okay, so that's the video we'll be editing today. So when you look at the video, you realize that the person or the subject in the video keeps
I don't
getting
hate
close
me,
to
but
their
picking your niche.
phone to stop or pause the recording and then continue the recording. So you're going to cut out that part or those parts, and then we'll just make some simple edits to the other parts to make the video seamless. So my CapCut has finished installing. So when you're done installing CapCut on your laptop, what it's going to do is it's going to scan your PC or your laptop to know or to see if it can run the software smoothly. So if it cannot run the software smoothly, you're going to get a prompt that tells you what's wrong or why it's refusing to open or why you cannot run it on your laptop. So if you get this notification or this info that your computer can run CapCut smoothly, you can just go ahead and then click confirm, and then it's going to open the CapCut software for you. So just click agree and continue, click close, and then we have our window here, our CapCut window here. Let me maximize the window a bit so you can see what is going on here. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you don't need to worry about any of these things over here. I'll talk about them in a separate video, but first thing you need to do is to click here, which says create project. Let's close this one and then click create projects. So it's going to open a whole different window where you can edit your clip, import your clips, and then do whatever you want to do to the video. Okay, so I don't need to go through all this, so I'll just click exit. Okay. And then here we have our editing workspace inside of CapCut. So CapCut is a free software, but it has premium features. So some transitions and stickers and effects only work if you subscribe to their pro version or their pro model, but I'm going to be using just their free option. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is just to import our clip into the software. So you can do that by either clicking on this space here that says import, or you can go to your folder where the clip is, and then you click and drag it into the CapCut software or into that space that says import. And then now we have our video here, we have our raw footage here. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click and drag our clip into our timeline. So this is, you can simply do this thing, you can do the same thing in the mobile version. So with the mobile version, you just open a CapCut software, create a new video or new project, and then it shows your gallery with all your video clips, and then you select the video you want to work on. I think I explained it in the previous lesson, but yeah. So we're going to click and drag this into our timeline, and then it loads here. So it automatically crops out the outputs over here. So mostly it's in a landscape format, but because our video is a portrait video, it automatically cropped it to the perfect dimension. So next thing we're going to do is you're going to preview our video, and then we'll look at the parts we want to get rid of or the part we want to keep. So let's play our video.
I don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error, or you use logic to find a niche that is recession proof at all times.
Okay, so before we continue, I want to enhance the audio on this video a bit. So let's go to the audio tab over here, and over here you can see that the reduce noise and then other and the enhanced voice are all limited to the pro version. So how do we do this for free? So if you want to do this for free, first let's go back to our internet browser and then create a new tab, and then we're going to go back to google.com and then search Adobe Podcast. Click the first link, and it's going to tell you to log in with your Google account or create a new Adobe account, but I've already logged in my Google account here. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select start enhancing. So here I'm going to import my video into the website. So I'll go to my folder, select my raw footage, click and drag it to my browser, and then let's place it here. Let's do that again. Okay, so it's uploading our footage into the website. So I think with the Adobe Podcast, it's completely free, but it gives you a limit to the number of minutes you can do per day. So you need to use it wisely. But if you have an Adobe subscription, it's unlimited, so you can enhance as many videos or audio as you want. So we just need to wait for it to finish uploading, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so it's done enhancing our audio. So let's play it and see how it is. So let's play the original first.
I don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated.
Okay, so now let's play the enhanced version.
I don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people
So you can
constantly
see
get
the
stuck in
website
something called the
has
analysis
enhanced
paralysis, or what
our audio. So now you're just going to download it. So with this one, I imported the whole footage, but mostly on a normal circumstance. I export the audio from the video, and then I upload it here and then enhance it, and then I put that audio back to that footage inside my editing software. So I'm going to re-download the enhanced video. So once I'm done with downloading this one, I'm going to replace it with the one I placed in the CapCut software earlier. Okay, open folder. Okay, so this is our new video. Let me cut it, go to my desktop and then place it here so I can easily find it. So now let's go back to CapCut, select this clip over here, and then we'll delete it. Go to our folder, click and drag it into CapCut, and then we have our new video here, our new footage here, and then click and drag it to our timeline. And now when we play, you realize that the audio sounds better.
I don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error, or you use logic to find a niche that is recession proof at all times.
Okay, so we fixed one problem, which is the audio. The next thing we are going to do is to cut and join parts of the clip. So we are going to take out some of the parts in our video. So the part we are going to take off is when he approaches his camera to pause the recording. So now before I do that, I want to stretch the timeline a bit so I can see which part I'm cutting and which part I'm removing. So to do that, we'll come to our timeline and then we'll use this slider over here to either zoom in or out of our clip inside of our timeline. So if I click the plus, the magnified glass with a plus, it stretches the timeline it stretches the clip throughout the timeline. Okay, so now let's play the video.
I don't hate.
So over here you can see that his hand comes away from the camera. So whilst you're editing, make sure you take note of this audio waveform at the bottom of the clip. So let me see if I can stretch this out so you see what I mean. Okay, so I've stretched it out. So pay attention to this audio waveform so you know which part you're cutting, and also you don't cut out the things he's saying or his audio. So let's bring it a bit to the right. So right before the waveform starts, if you still can't see it properly, you can just click the zoom in to zoom in your clip so you can see it properly. So you can see that waveform starts over here. So we'll cut this part of our clip. So in CapCut, or let's say the CapCut desktop version, there are three options for clipping your video. So we have this one. With this one, it just splits your video into two. So if I click it, you see we have the first audio, we have the second audio. Let's undo that and then let's try the second option. So with this one, it deletes whatever is on the left side of the splitted clip. So let's try that. So if I click on it, you realize it deletes the clip on the left side of the trim. Let's undo. Let's see what the right one does. So with the right one, it does the opposite. So with the right one, it deletes whatever is on the right side of the trim. Okay, so now we have these three options. So in this instance, we are going to use the first option or the second option. So let's just use the second option. And then let's play our
I
clip.
don't hate me, but pick.
Okay, let's see if I can clip it a bit more.
I don't hate me.
Okay, so let's clip this side, delete left, and then let's play our video.
I don't hate me, but
Okay, so now we've sorted out the first
I
part.
don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated.
Okay, so here you can see that there's a long pause in between these two waveforms. So what we are going to do is you're going to first come here, and then we are not going to use this option. We'll use the first one to just split it. Okay, and then we'll move to the right side, and then we'll split this one too. And then we'll select this one and then delete. Okay, so once you delete it, automatically joins the other clip which was beside it to the first clip. Okay, so now let's play our video.
Isn't that complicated? You see, the main issue.
Okay, so you realize that there's a sharp
Okay,
transition in between the audio. So we are going to undo, and then this time we'll leave a little gap in between. So let's split this one delete, and let's try playing our clip again.
Complicated. You see the main complicated. You see the main issue is that people
Okay, let's start it from here.
really isn't that complicated. You see the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage.
Okay, so now let's do the same for this part. Let's split and then move a bit to the right side, and then we'll split this part. Click the clip you want to take out and then delete. So let's play our
The
footage.
information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error, or you use logic to find a niche that is recession proof at all times.
Okay, so let's get rid of this pause over here. Split. The shortcut for splitting CapCut is Control B. So you can just press Control B and then delete. Let's play.
At all times.
Let's go back a bit and then let's play our video.
To find a niche that is recession proof at all times.
Okay, so let's also get rid of this pause here. Select our clip, Control B, and then Control B. Delete. Okay.
Proof at all times. Essentially, you just really want to make sure that the people that you will be serving with your business type need your help all throughout the year at any given moment.
Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of our clip, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so I'm done with the cutting and then the joining. So there's what people mostly call cutting and joining in video editing. So it's just about clipping or splitting the clips you don't need from the video and then taking it out, so there won't be any long pauses and maybe some few errors in the video. So let's say you were recording a clip and then you made an error but you repeated the same line again, so we'll just edit out the part that you made the mistake, so the corrected part which is after that just continues, so it will look like you recorded the entire thing at a go, but it's just the we just took out the bad parts of the video. Okay, so now let's play our video from the beginning and see how it looks.
I don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error, or you use logic to find a niche that is recession proof at all times. Essentially, you just really want to make sure that the people that you will be serving with your business type need your help all throughout the year at any given moment. So we take the example of someone running an e-commerce and doesn't know which niche to pick. I would, let's say, pick babies or children's clothing. We're not going to see the end of reproduction anytime soon, and people are getting and having children every single day. It is definitely not a bad niche to pick from. You see where I'm trying to go here. Now, if you understand a bit of what I'm saying, but you still aren't sure exactly which niche to pick, you can definitely drop me a DM and I'll be glad to help you out. And as always, make sure to follow your man for more tips to make your personal brand and your content reach the moon.
Okay, so that's the result from the splitting, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some background music to make it more interesting or more like an ad. But you don't really need to add background music to every video you're editing, but this is just for practical sake. Okay, so to add a background music, so I'm going to go to pixabay.com to download a background music from there. So once the website has opened, you select music and then you look for any music that would fit our video. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. So I just click the download button here and then download our audio. So start download, go to our folder. Then again, I'm going to cut this audio and then go to my project folder and then paste it there. So now that I have it there, I'm going to import this audio into CapCut. Okay, so now we have our audio here. Let's drag and drop it to our timeline. And then since it's a background audio, we don't want it to be too loud. So you're going to decrease the volume a bit. Let's
And
play our
don't hate
video.
me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error, or you use logic to find a niche that is recession proof at all times. Essentially, you just really want to make sure that the people that you will be serving with your business type need your help all throughout the year at any given moment. So we take the example of someone running an e-commerce and doesn't know which niche to pick. I would, let's say, pick babies or children's clothing. We're not going to see the end of reproduction anytime soon, and people are getting and having children every single day. It is definitely not a bad niche to pick from. You see where I'm trying to go here. Now, if you understand a bit of what I'm saying, but you still aren't sure exactly which niche to pick, you can definitely drop me a DM and I'll be glad to help you out. And as always, make sure to follow your man for more tips to make your personal brand and your content reach the moon.
Okay, so let's go to where the video ends. Okay, and then we're going to split our background audio. So make sure the background audio is selected. And then since we want to get rid of the leftover clip, we're just going to use the third option here for the split, delete right. And then next thing you're going to do is you're going to add a fade out to our audio. So we have the fade out option here and the basic. So click and drag this out. So once you're clicking and dragging, you realize that this pointer here shifts to the left. So you can either come and use this one to increase the length of our fade out, or you can use this slider over here. So I think this is fine. So what this does is it automatically decreases the volume of your audio to, let's say, from here to start decreasing all the way to 0 at the end of the clip. So let's play our video.
Content reach the moon.
Okay, so let's play from the
Personal brand
side.
and your content reach the moon.
Okay, so that's how the fade out works. So with the fade in, it does the opposite. So with the fade in, it starts from the beginning of the audio clip. If we increase it, you realize that it affects the beginning of our background audio. So it's basically the same thing. This one works with the start of our audio, and then this one works with the ending of our audio clip. Okay, so let's play our video from the
And
beginning.
don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error, or you use logic to find a niche that is recession proof at all times. Essentially, you just really want to make sure that the people that you will be serving with your business type need your help all throughout the year at any given moment. So we take the example of someone running an e-commerce and doesn't know which niche to pick. I would, let's say, pick babies or children's clothing. We're not going to see the end of reproduction anytime soon, and people are getting and having children every single day. It is definitely not a bad niche to pick from. You see where I'm trying to go here. Now, if you understand a bit of what I'm saying, but you still aren't sure exactly which niche to pick, you can definitely drop me a DM and I'll be glad to help you out. And as always, make sure to follow your man for more tips to make your personal brand and your content reach the moon.
Okay, so let's compare this to our raw footage. So let's go to our folder. Then we're going to play the raw footage without the audio enhancement and all that. So let's play
And
our
don't hate me,
raw
but
footage.
picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go about this. Either you do trial and error.
So you can see that there's a huge difference between the raw footage and then our
And
edited
don't hate me,
video.
but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in something called the analysis paralysis, or what I like to call it, the information stage. There really is only two ways you could go.
So realize that our video is much better than it was before. So once you're done here, what you're going to do is you're going to export the video. So with CapCut, you don't need to save it because it saves to their cloud automatically. So you don't need to keep pressing Ctrl S to save your work. So it saves it automatically. So all you have to do is just export your video. So go to this export option here, and then you see these options here. You're going to see export timeline 1, which is our timeline or the timeline we worked on, and then the name. So the name is what you're going to name the video clip or the file. So we'll name this one my first edit. And then we'll choose the folder we want to save our video to. So we'll click this icon here, and then we want to save it to our project folder. Okay, so you're going to save it here, select folder, and then select video. So we just want to export our video, we don't want to export the audio and all that. So we'll choose our resolution. You can choose 1080p, you can choose 2K, 4K, or 8K. It all depends on you. So with this tutorial, I'm just using 1080p. Bitrate, we'll leave it at the recommended. Codec, we'll leave it at the default. Formats, default. Frame rate, default. So now that we are done with all that, we're just going to click export.
And don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't
So
that
we've
complicated. See,
exported
the
our
main
video.
issue is that
So
people
with CapCut,
constantly
it
get
asks
stuck in
you
something
if you
called
want
the
to
analysis
automatically
paralysis,
share
or
it to
what I
your
like to call it,
TikTok
the
or
information
YouTube
stage. There
like
really
right
is only two
away,
ways you
but
can
we
go
don't want
about
to do that.
it. Either you
So
do trial and error, or you
let's
use
just
logic to find a niche that is specific.
go to our folder to see our exported clip. So this is our exported clip right here, my first edit, and then there's the raw footage. So let's play the twos. Let's play like 5 seconds of the two clips, and then we'll see the video, the difference once again, and then we'll end today's lesson.
And don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is
Okay,
that people constantly.
now let's play our edited clip.
And don't hate me, but picking your niche really isn't that complicated. You see, the main issue is that people constantly get stuck in.
Okay, so this is it for our lesson on introduction to video editing part 2. I think you can still follow the tutorial and do it in any other editing software like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. Just that some panels and other stuff will be at different areas, so you need to find where those panels are. And usually you can find them under the Windows option at the menu bar, and then you select which panel you want to see or display. Okay, so this is it for our lesson, and then we'll continue with some, I don't know, special effects and all that in the next lesson. And then if there's anything else you want to see in the next lesson or you want to learn in the next lesson pertaining to video editing, you can either leave it in the comment section or you can type it in the WhatsApp platform, and then I'll see what I can do about it. Okay, so this is it for our lesson for today. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.